Welcome to Swing and a Miss, a baseball podcast,
where our obnoxious opinions are backed up by cherry-picked stats.
Yeah, I don't really know what we're doing anymore.
This is out of order. I'm not Josh.
I'm so sorry. Welcome in. Welcome into episode 13 of Swing and a Miss. Lucky number 13, guys. We made it.
Yay.
We can quit now.
All right.
Yay.
I didn't know that was a plan. I was
It was a hard stop after 13.
I was prepared for number 14 already, and now that seems like a waste.
I'm so sorry to waste your time. I'm one of your hosts, Ben.
Oh, I'm Nels.
I'm Josh.
I'm Tyler.
And today is Monday, August 25th. This is the first time we're going to timestamp this episode. Let us know if you hate it or love it. It gives you a good
Or like most normal human beings, don't care one way or the other.
I hate knowing what day this podcast happened.
I
Stop doing that.
actually want you to reach out. We actually got more listener engagement for this episode than we've gotten so far, so we're super excited. But while we dive into it, let's talk about the league check-in. Where are we at? What do we feel? What do we think? What do we like? What do we hate?
I will tell you an experience that I had, which was watching baseball on Friday evening. I watched my Twins against the White Sox. That had a certain vibe to it. It was a sad vibe. That game concluded.
That's the vibe I got just when you said Twins
Yeah.
and White Sox alone, so I can't imagine.
That game concluded, and I decided to flip on over to the Padres Dodgers, and that is whiplash.
Ooh,
because
somebody else might be sad right now.
we went from a couple of sad teams to playoff atmosphere. Like watching that game, the crowd was rocking in San Diego. It was electric, so exciting.
You sure you were watching the same sport? Because I don't think that they're playing it.
It felt very different. Like the Twins White Sox was the pastoral, quiet nature of baseball, and the Padres Dodgers were frat boys doing cake stands and getting turned up.
Nels, thoughts?
Nope.
All right, fair enough.
I have thoughts.
Go for it.
I am finally able to breathe a large sigh of relief as the Tigers' terrible skid has ended. Still definitely concerns going into the postseason, particularly with our rotation. But a game and a half lead on the best record in the American League again. That 12 out of 13 losses is in the rear view. Looking good again. Also, I want to revisit something that I brought up many episodes ago. Unfortunately, Nels will not be happy about this. Can we agree now that Rafael Devers is the problem? Because the Red Sox are playing real good ball, and since the trade, the Giants are not. I think there's a common denominator there.
I feel like that's putting too much onus on any one individual player. I don't think one person has got that type of effect on whole team.
I can't speak for the Red Sox, but I can definitely tell you that Rafael Devers is not the problem with the Giants at all. So
Look, he just brought the aura.
Well, they do still, correct, have the worst record since that trade in baseball, the Giants?
they have the worst record since the start of July. So
Pretty close.
yeah, about 2 weeks before that.
Pretty close.
Yeah, I think the second worst is probably the Twins. I was looking at the past 30 games, and Twins and Giants were snuggled up right next to one another down at the very bottom.
It's been a rough season for 3 of our 4 teams. It's been a rough season. We'll see how the postseason goes for the Tigers, but
I also want to let's pour one out for the Rockies, the first team eliminated. I don't know. Nobody saw this coming.
Oh, man. Really?
Cheers to the Rocks, baby.
I tell you who's celebrating today. It's last year's White Sox team, because the Rockies now have 37 wins with 31 to play. They only have to win 5 games to ensure that they are not the worst team in history.
What? So how are you treating this if you are a 2024 White Sox?
Celebrate.
Do you think you want that
Yeah.
on your resume?
If my team's going to be bad, you better be epically bad.
Okay.
I disagree. As somebody who was a fan of the 43
You've never been a fan of a
Tigers.
41 win team.
No, but a 43 win team.
That's 2 more than the White Sox.
Yes, which exactly. Watching the White Sox pass that last year was a great moment of celebration. Hey, it's not us anymore. So I disagree.
Ah, man, if you're going to be bad, be epically bad. No other thoughts? All right, fair enough.
I mean,
Nobody else has been a fan of a team that bad.
I'll agree because the Giants have been mediocrely bad for about most of the last 10 years. So
Fair enough.
I've been watching so much bad baseball. I don't really want to talk about bad baseball. I want to talk about good baseball. I want to talk about fun baseball.
Well, let's talk about some good baseball. Where are we sitting on the MVP vote?
Give me the big dumper, baby.
So we talked about this, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. Josh
Yeah.
and I were traveling together this weekend, and we had a discussion in the airport yesterday. Do you think Aaron Judge is going to be the winner?
I still do.
I do too.
Because, and I'll tell you why.
Doesn't mean he should.
Doesn't mean he should. I will tell you why, because I feel like there has been a error that's being made right now by the baseball writers who are now, I feel like, leaning extra heavy on WAR as an end-all be-all stat. And I still do not believe WAR properly adjusts for defense and
Little foreshadowing.
positional value. So I think that all things, Judge is by far and away having the better offensive season. What Cal Raleigh is doing as a catcher is phenomenal, and catcher is the most taxing position on the baseball time, and you've got the least amount of time to prepare as a hitter because you've got to be working with your pitchers and your game plan so frequently. I think Raleigh should win it. I still believe that Judge is the favorite.
he's a switch hitting catcher
A
on top
switch
of
hitting
it.
catcher who's now one away from 50 home runs
Yep.
with a month and a half to play. He's gonna, if he assuming health, he walks to 55 home runs this year.
As a show, do we collectively say Cal Raleigh should win the AL MVP?
Yes.
Yes. However,
I agree.
Here's what I'll say. Last year when Judge won the MVP, I thought Witt should have won the MVP, but I was not upset that Judge won the MVP.
Sure.
And I think that's the same way that I'll wind up this year. Whoever wins it, I'm going to feel that Raleigh should have won it, but I'm not going to be upset if it's given to Judge either.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know how. Well, I do know how you give it to Judge over Raleigh, because the writers are stupid. But
Well, and his offensive numbers are by far and away better.
Depends on
Which numbers are we looking at?
Well, Ben, I believe that you like yourself some batting average.
I do.
So Aaron Judge is leading MLB in batting average at 324. He's leading in on-base percentage. He's leading in slugging percentage. When you add together on-base plus slugging, he's also leading in that because he's leading in the other two.
No, that makes
And
sense.
So
The thing is, I would like to look at situational hitting over just individual stats, which I think very clearly Judge is running away with the individual stats. But if you look at the situational hitting, when is it occurring? Who's on base? What are they driving in? Timeliness. Cal Raleigh is very clearly the most valuable player to his team, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I like I say, my argument is still that Raleigh should win it because when you've got a catcher that's playing the offense that he is, that affords you to put someone into the DH that is going to produce like a DH and not like a catcher.
Yep.
So
It's
there's
also a
value
matchup
within that.
It's a matchup nightmare too.
And matchup nightmare
And
as
let's not forget in all of this, he's last year's American League Platinum Glove Award winner, which means the best it means the best defender in all of the American League regardless of position. So not only is he a catcher, he's a damn good catcher.
He really is.
Like, he's a top defensive catcher, and he's going to put up 55 home runs and drive in 120.
Yes.
I feel like doing that, not just as a catcher, but also as a switch hitter. No switch hitter is going to be putting up, like, he's going to pass Mickey Mantle for most home runs in a single season by a switch hitter. He's already broken the home run record for a catcher in a year. He's already broken multi-home run game records for both switch hitters, catchers, and Mariners in history, passing
Mariners.
Ken Griffey Jr. When you get into the air of passing Ken Griffey Jr. and Mickey Mantle in offensive season records, and you put in incredible defense at catcher, I feel like as great as Aaron Judge's season is, you have to give some extra nod to the history of, what is Cal Raleigh doing as a catcher. Kind of like when Aaron Judge, arguably, in his MVP season when he hit 62 home runs, and there was a debate on that for a little bit with Shohei Ohtani and what Ohtani was doing when he went 15-9 with a 2.33 ERA while hitting 34 home runs and 95 RBI as well. But the historic significance of 62 home runs was too heavy for anybody to ignore. And I feel like that's the air that we're in with Raleigh right now, is that Judge is having a very MVP-worthy season, but you cannot ignore the historical season that Cal Raleigh is having.
Speaking of Shohei, anyone on the show disagree he's the NL MVP?
No, he's by far and away the best player in the NL.
Yeah. I mean, other than Chris Bryant. But
other than Chris Bryant.
My hot take is if Shohei was just a league average hitter and league average pitcher, he's still the MVP.
Yeah.
Because nobody else is doing that, and he's...
Was it 2 years from now they're playing the All-Star game in Vegas? You gotta imagine he's licking his chops for that.
So I just did some math, and my math could be entirely inaccurate, but looking at...
It's not my math, so it's probably
sure.
right.
Looking at where Raleigh is, which is 49 home runs at over 128 games, and the Mariners have 31 games yet to play. So that means that he's on pace right now for 60 home runs.
Woo!
If he gets a little hot, he could get the record.
If Cal Raleigh hits 60, it's an end of discussion. There is no thought.
We will do a
it.
Patreon episode where Josh does push-ups for 24 hours straight.
That was not in my contract, so we will discuss that.
Joke's on you. No contracts were signed by anyone. Well, let's move on to a few kind of negative pieces that's happened in the last couple weeks. Marcus Semien and Zach Wheeler both done for at least the regular season in Semien's case, and Zach Wheeler done for the entire season. These are two big injuries. Marcus Semien, the Rangers second baseman, they were surging. They've fallen off a little bit over the last handful of days, but Zach Wheeler, Phillies are in first place. He has been their best pitcher all year by far. He's out for the regular season and the postseason. He was leading Major League Baseball in strikeouts with 195. He was allowing fewer than one base runner an inning with a 2.71 ERA. That's a huge loss. Huge loss. And I don't feel bad for the Phillies. I feel bad for Zach Wheeler. I don't want anyone to get hurt. Don't get me wrong. But if the Phillies take a step back, I'm not going to be mad about it. But that's a big blow.
I, as a neutral party, I have been rooting for the Phillies. I feel like the fans and the team has invested enough in that team that I would like to see them be rewarded with a World Series appearance, if not a championship. So yeah, this hurts. This hurts real bad. I still think that they have enough to get them to the World Series and contend. But you'd much prefer to have Wheeler while you're doing it.
Yeah, no kidding.
I know that what Wheeler had, and it's just blood clot in his right arm. I know there's an official term that I'm not going to try and pronounce because I'm not even going to come close to getting it right. But other pitchers who have had that have not come back the same.
Woof.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I think Matt Harvey is probably the best example, but there's others who had that and they just come back and they're not the same guy. And he's 36, 35?
He's up
He's
there.
not-
Wheeler?
That
He might be 33 or 34. He's in his 30s for sure.
Yeah, and I don't remember who it was. He is 35, by the way.
35. Split the difference.
Somebody on the Tigers not too long ago had that blood clot issue. I'm not remembering who it was off the top of my head, but it was one of those things where they just, it wasn't. It was a bit longer than I thought. But Jeremy Bonderman had those blood clot issues, and he just never was able to kind of be the same. And yeah, as a 35-year-old, you wonder how much career he has left now with something like that.
And we'll see what the Rangers do after Semien's injury. I mean, he can come back for the postseason, assuming they make it. Right now, they're out of a wild card spot, but the Phillies losing Zach Wheeler, we'll see how that affects them winning the division. They still have like a 6 or 6.5 game lead on the Mets.
They've got a pretty healthy lead on the Mets,
And the Mets have not played particularly amazing.
Correct.
7-game lead.
Yeah.
7-game.
That's
They,
going to hurt
they
the
are
Phillies.
playing each other currently too, though.
They play tonight.
Yeah, they've got a series against each other. So,
Hold please while we turn that game on.
so it's one of those things too. I mean, obviously, Zach Wheeler hurts your long-term chances by being out, but in any single series, like he might not have even been pitching, so it might not impact this series. But it's one of those things where the Mets can gain some ground right now.
It's going to hurt them in October.
Yeah.
A lot more than now.
Just for context, the Phillies are up 3-0.
First, the Mets need to start winning ball games. Like they've just been absolutely scuffling since the All-Star break. It's not been going well. It's been sad. There's been a lot of sad New York baseball that's continued on, and
yet, with that sad New York baseball, the teams chasing them are also playing sad baseball, and so they have not really lost their ground.
ding ding ding. This is Tyler's Bettorama because we stepped right into it.
Tyler's Bettorama.
So, here's what I got for you. You say that they are scuffling. I will tell you that both the Royals and the Reds are actually surging.
The Reds are what, 1.5 games out?
They're
Which I'm pretty sure they were the last time we recorded.
I think they were half game
yes,
out like
but they've
2 weeks
also
ago.
gotten Hunter Green back since the last time we spoke. He came in and picked up right as he left off, and was still punching out batters left and right. The Royals have woken up from their hitting slumps. Witt is going hard. Miguel Garcia is having a nice couple of weeks. Vinny Pasquantino has been the real story. He's been smacking the ball all over the park. And so, between the Royals and the Reds, both of whom are at about 12 to 14% chance to make the playoffs, according to Fangraphs, who do you like better?
I will take the team that is a game and a half closer, and that is the Cincinnati Reds. That's just, I know I'm not great at math, but I'll take the team that's closer.
I'll actually take the Reds also, mostly because of getting Hunter Green back. I like their pitching staff. Their relievers have not been phenomenal. Their closers have been pretty good, and their hitting is pretty timely. It's not all the way consistently timely, but I'm going to take the Reds, mostly when you look at the offense versus what the Royals have done all year. I understand they're coming out of a slump, but the slump has been like 130 games. So I'm going to go with the Reds.
Yeah, and that was the other thing that I was going to say too. I'll take the Reds as well. I have much more faith that the Reds can keep up playing good ball than the Royals. They're going through a hot stretch right now, but just about every team goes through hot stretches. The other thing is I haven't looked at the schedules the rest of the way, any of that kind of stuff, but watching Kansas City all year, I just don't have faith that they keep up the play like Cincinnati.
Wrong.
Well, let me.
Hold on, we have a Tyler's Bettorama response.
Okay.
Here's my argument for the Royals. The Reds have really only the Mets are the only team they can overtake, because the Dodgers/Padres are 4.5 up in the wild card, and the Cubs are 6.5 up.
And they're flip-flopped in division and wild card right now.
Yeah,
they're tied.
If you look at the AL wild card, Red Sox are only up 1 game, Yankees up a half game, and then the Mariners. So
Are the Yankees up a half game on?
The Mariners.
That's right.
Yes. So there's more teams that the Royals could overtake.
Sure. And that would be my argument for why the Royals are more likely to, because they have 3 teams. They need one of 3 teams to really fall off. And if one of those 3 teams fall off, they're in. If the Mets get their ship righted and go forward, then the Reds have no chance.
I personally don't know that I agree with that. I've watched a pretty significant amount of Mets and Reds baseball, and I just don't trust the Mets. I don't trust them.
No, I don't think that they've done anything to earn your trust.
Yeah. But it is a good.
And that's not a metric though. I just don't trust them.
But it is a good point that Cincinnati is reliant completely upon what the Mets do. Where Kansas City gets hot, they have 3 teams that are ahead of them, but they only need to jump one.
Right.
That are all, within a game of each other, that all it takes is one to slide and them to continue playing hot, that, they have a lot better chance to jump somebody.
I will give another point for the Reds here. Their run differential, and we're deep enough into the season.
I was looking at that too.
Yeah, plus 48, and the Royals are
-3.
-3. So,
And that is in drastic comparison. Drast? That's not a word.
Drastic.
Drastic. It's been a long weekend.
that's half a word.
Drastic comparison to the over -300 the Rockies have in run differential. Just want to put that out there.
-349.
Whoa.
I'll tell you, that's not for today because we've got plenty of other stuff to talk about.
do.
But maybe next time we gotta look at the. We're talking about the record between the Rockies and last year's White Sox.
Could do
we should
that.
see where the run differential ended for last year's White Sox.
Maybe this is a good time to let our listeners know that we are actually going to continue this show into the off season. We're going to do some fun stuff, maybe some goofy stuff. We're also going to have some shows that the stats will bore you to tears. But it's our show, and thank you for listening. So just so you know, this doesn't end when the World Series ends. We're going to continue this, and it's going to go into next season as far as the four of us are concerned, correct?
Yes. We also have a World Baseball Classic.
We
next
also
year,
have
too.
that. And everyone is on a
Can't wait.
3-year contract. So
Yeah.
I just checked the records, Josh. We're on a 3-year contract.
All right, for $0.
Can you trade me to another podcast?
Yeah.
Speaking of $0, we are so close to 1,000 unique downloads, guys. When we get to 1,000 unique downloads, we can actually start to monetize this show. And we're going to be millionaires. So
Yes.
I want you all to support our millionaire aspects. Aspirations. I can't talk tonight.
Okay.
So we'll go to
Someone
Tyler.
take over for me.
Yeah.
I think I had a stroke.
We're going to use our millions of dollars to buy you talking lessons.
Yeah.
Please do. Give me a brain
I'll be happy
transplant.
just if we become dollar heirs on
Yeah.
this podcast.
Oh, no. Millionaire or bust.
Yeah.
Millionaire.
We're going to be fraction of penny.
We're gonna be like that
That's what's
old
gonna happen
State
here.
Farm commercial with the old man with the fishing hook. I
gotta be
caught you
quicker.
$1.
You got to be quicker.
I caught you $1.
Oh, we don't have the rights to that. Sorry, State Farm.
Yeah, like a bad neighbor, we used your tagline.
So just so you know, guys, we appreciate the support, but anyone you can tell about it to get us up to 1,000 would be a huge milestone for us. So with that, let's move into our next position, our best right fielder of all time.
The final position on the diamond.
Yes, sir. Who wants to start? We didn't talk about this.
Yeah, I mean,
we're all looking at each other.
I can go ahead and start.
Let's go ahead. Josh starts.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and start with the man that I consider to be, in my opinion, the greatest hitter in the history of Major League Baseball. And that would be one Henry Hank Aaron.
Hammer and Hank.
Hammer and Hank. I mean, gee, what is there to say about Hank Aaron other than the dude just put up every number humanly possible? He is the all-time leader in Major League history in RBI with 2297. He's the all-time leader in MLB history in total bases with 6,856. He is second all-time in home runs, all-time, just behind Barry Bonds. He's got 755 to Barry Bonds' 762. However, he has no scandal behind his name at all to dampen that 755. He also hit 624 career doubles and 98 triples and was a 305 career hitter. He's got 3,771 hits, which the incredible part about that, second most home runs in the history of Major League Baseball with 755. If you take every one of those home runs away, he still has over 3,000 hits.
I have such a fun stat like that for my guy, too. I love
Yeah.
those interesting stats like
For
that.
sure. So not only is he arguably the greatest power hitter of all time, you could probably argue Barry Bonds and Hank Aaron are probably the two greatest power hitters of all time, but he also is just one of the greatest hitters of all time. He had 3 seasons of over 200 hits, several more in the high 190s, led the league in doubles 4 different times, so he wasn't just putting the ball over the fence. In fact, the interesting stat that I have for him is that his career high for home runs in a single season was only 47.
Wow.
Despite having 755 home runs in his career,
Wow.
he never had a 50 home run season. 47, and then 3 times he hit 44. 4 times he hit 44 home runs in a season. He just every single year he was a lock for 40 plus home runs, and he did that for 23 years. So it's not just like some big surges, like not that Barry Bonds wasn't a phenomenal, consistent power hitter, but he had 73 one year. That adds a lot to your total. Hank Aaron just 40 home runs, 120 RBI, like every single year. He did it all. He also won several Gold Gloves, 3 of them to be exact, in right field. So he could play the outfield pretty well also. 25-time All-Star, another one of those fun facts. More All-Stars than years played.
25.
More All-Stars than years played. For the couple years they had the 2 All-Star games. And he won 2 batting titles as well. He hit 328 and then 355 to win batting titles. Incredibly, only 1 MVP. But he was top 3 in MVP voting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So he was always right there amongst the tops for MVP. And just all around great dude. Nobody's ever said anything bad, I think, about Hank Aaron. He seems to be the guy that a lot of the guys that, you know, we grew up watching would talk about. Their guy that they idolized was Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron was their guy. He was your favorite player's favorite player. So everything about Hank Aaron, I just think, is the greatest of all time. So how could I not have him as the greatest right fielder when, in my opinion, he might be the greatest baseball player of all time?
No disagreements over here. And passed away not too long ago. His wife still goes to a lot of Braves games, especially on major induction nights, and goes when there's special celebrations. If you haven't seen the celebration the Braves did for Hank Aaron this year, please go find it on YouTube. It's, I don't know, 9-10 minutes, but it's worth every second.
Yeah, it was at the All-Star game. Check it out.
Yes.
So I'd like to move on to my best right fielder of all time.
Yeah, sure.
Who is
a good competition.
Who is a player that many people will say bad things about. No one particularly will say that he's the shining example of what you want to be as a person, like someone might say about Hank Aaron. But he does happen to lead the MLB in all-time slugging percentage, OPS plus. And that is one George Herman Ruth, also known as the Babe, the Great Bambino, the Sultan of SWAT, the Colossus of Clout.
The Colossus of Clout.
The Colossus of Clout!
Famously started off as a pitcher. There's a lot of lore around Babe Ruth. We know that there was a musical called No No Nanette because of Babe Ruth, and the failure or the funding of that musical is what caused him to be sold from the Red Sox to the New York Yankees. One thing that's fun is the dead ball era was ended when, sadly, there was a pitcher who threw and killed a batter with a ball. At the dead ball era, they would spit on the ball. It would be blackened with tobacco juice, scuffed up, everything like that. Bad lighting conditions. The batter couldn't see the ball coming in, plunked him in the head. 5 days later, he passed away. And they decided, we're going to do away with all the pitch doctoring. We're going to do away with all the spitballs. We're going to replace the balls, and we're going to start hitting home runs.
This is 2 episodes in a row someone's died on.
Yeah. And so that happened in 1920.
Look out, Babe Ruth, you might be next.
1920 is kind of officially known as that is the end of the dead ball era. Well, in 1919, Babe Ruth hit 29 home runs. That's the time where we were talking about Home Run Baker hitting 10, 11, 12 home runs and leading the whole league.
A little after Ty Cobb's 9 home runs to win a Triple Crown.
Speaking of dead people.
Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs in 1927. The 1927 Yankees, of course, shorthand for the most feared lineup of all time.
Murderers
Row. And got a little bit of an asterisk over that because he did that in 152 games, and when the record was finally broken by Roger Maris, he did that in 162 games, and people thought that was just a little dodgy.
And yet nobody cared when Aaron Judge hit 62 in 162.
A lot of people cared. They made a huge deal about it.
I didn't care.
Neither did I. We are a lot of people.
Babe Ruth didn't necessarily train his body or adhere to a strong regimen.
You don't say.
No.
All-time fat man.
Lou Gehrig was fairly well known for engaging in stretching and calisthenics and being looked at very oddly for doing that. That's one of the reasons why Lou Gehrig was able to play so many games in a row.
And how did it end for him after all that stretching?
Really quickly, I would love to give some context. For those that have met me, I am about the same weight as Babe Ruth was when he played. He looks fatter than everyone else then because everyone else was like 130 pounds. No one said anything there. I expect you to be like, no, you're not fat.
I thought you were making more of a point.
Yeah, we didn't know when your point was over.
The point was he was a bigger guy for the era. He wasn't a huge guy.
You ever see like the world's fattest man from back then, and it's a guy who's just like 250?
Babe Ruth was Babe Ruth was 215.
Yeah.
He wasn't that big.
But, outside of how big he may have been, he did believe in training with hot dogs and cigars.
Yes,
and booze.
And booze.
A lot of it.
What eventually did take Babe from this mortal coil was throat cancer that he got from smoking all of those cigars. There's a possibility that he killed his first wife.
That's death number 3.
Don't worry, he murdered many more baseballs.
His wife, his first wife, was killed in the fire of their home, and then a few months later, Babe Ruth remarried a actress. So it was a little suspicious, though Babe was probably out womanizing already, and he probably had him lined up whether that did or did not happen. No one knows.
I know. My favorite Babe Ruth, folklore is he hired some kid to go through his fan mail. And he told the kid, I want you to throw everything away unless it's a check or a letter from abroad.
So Babe Ruth also, although he wasn't necessarily the greatest guy, he was a very good ambassador for the game of baseball. He took it all around the world. He did Babe Ruth All-Stars, went over to Japan. He would play exhibition games against many of the Negro League teams, and was really good when it came to being a baseball player. Good for the kids. He was a lot of people's hero, and he was the home run king up until Hank Aaron finally overtook him in the 70s.
And in that same vein, let's keep it in Japan, because my best right fielder of all time is one Ichiro Suzuki. One of my favorite players to watch when I was a kid and a teenager. Just an all-around amazing player. We're going to talk a little bit about the first person on this list to have combined stats, I believe, except for Negro League and Major League Baseball. This is an international combination of stats. Ichiro played for a long time, over 20 years. With when we look at his stats combined, he had 4,367 total professional hits. He had 1,278 in Japan and 3,089 in Major League Baseball. Just an incredible career when it comes to hitting. He had 9,000 at-bats, like I said, over 3,000 hits, 117 home runs. He had a career average of 311, which, as everyone on this show knows, Hall of Famer. 1,420 runs, 780 RBI. He had 509 stolen bases, that's a lot for a career. What I think gets lost sometimes in Ichiro's career are the individual awards that he won, and also a really fun anecdotal story that I have. So he's a 2025 Hall of Fame inductee, 10-time All-Star, but then we get into the individual titles. 2001 AL batting title, 2001 American League MVP, 2001 American League Rookie of the Year, 2004 American League batting title.
Wait, hold on, 2001. How did the Mariners do that year?
Well, we'll talk about.
They won 116 games.
We'll talk. We'll talk about that here. Talk about here in just a second.
Okay, sorry.
We're not there yet. 2004 AL batting title, 10-time Gold Glover, 3-time Silver Slugger, Most games played in the American League in 2005, 2010, 2011, 2012. Most at-bats in the American League in 2001, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2010, 2011. Most hits in the American League in 2001, 2004, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. Putouts as a right fielder in the American League in 01, 02, 03, 04, 05, 09, and 10. Double plays turned as a right fielder in the American League 03, 06, and 11. That's a lot of individual stats. Now let's go back to that series you just mentioned. Let's go back to it. In 2001, he only had we had 2 postseason appearances played in 4 series. That one you're talking about in 2001, Seattle lost in the ALCS to the Yankees. But in the first series against the then Indians, he hit 600 for the series. 600.
Yeah.
That's incredible for a series.
That's a D-.
Ben, I need you to go back for a moment.
Okay.
So how many times did Ichiro find himself into the postseason?
2 different years, 4 series.
So he only did, with all that time with the Yankees, he only
played with the Yankees 2.5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah.
He was traded at the deadline
played with
in
them
2012 and then played 2013 and 14 with the Yankees.
Yes.
Okay.
2012 was when he made the postseason with the Yankees. 2001 was the only year he made the postseason with the Mariners.
Yeah, and then after the Yankees, he played 3 with Miami.
Well, I didn't expect Miami.
Yeah.
Just shocker.
That's not, well,
Tyler's Betorama.
Miami would have been, if he would have gotten there in 1997 or 2003,
Right.
he would have been great.
Yeah.
But he was there after.
So my favorite anecdotal piece of Ichiro lore is his first spring training with the Mariners. So he's at spring training in Arizona. Lou Piniella is the manager of the Mariners at the time. Any baseball fan knows Lou Piniella and the history that he has. So they get Ichiro from Japan. He comes over, and he's supposed to be a power guy, right? He's supposed to pull the ball, put it into right field as a left-handed hitter. So they're going through spring training. They get into the games, and Ichiro is only slapping things to left field. He's only putting the ball oppo taco. And Lou Piniella at one point goes up to him and says, hey, Ichiro, hey, man, we brought you here for pulling the ball and putting the ball out of the park. Can you pull the ball? And Ichiro turns and looks at him and goes, sometimes. The next pitch, what does he do? Deposits the ball in the 3rd row of right field. Ichiro could put the ball wherever he wanted. He didn't care where you threw it, and he didn't care what pitch it was. He could put it wherever he wanted. And for that reason, I think more than anything, he's my favorite right fielder of all time.
And I have 2 really quick points. One was just a stat that you kind of glossed over a little bit that I think is still very important.
What'd I do?
262 hits in 2004 is still the single-season MLB record for most hits in a season.
That ought to tell you another thing, that's the stat I glossed over.
Yeah. I think that 262 number still holds as the most hits in a single season.
It's incredible.
And also, what was his combined hit total between Japan and...
4,367.
And do you know that is more hits
Yes.
than Pete Rose?
I do, and Pete Rose shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
And then I just had a quick anecdote about Ichiro that
If it's my trivia question, I'm going to be so pissed at you.
Is it about his favorite American expression?
No, it's not. Go ahead.
Oh, so he was doing an interview with Bob Costas.
Keep it PG.
I will keep it PG because you know what it is. But Bob Costas, this was early when Ichiro came over to the United States to play baseball. And he asked Ichiro what his favorite American expression is. And Ichiro goes, August in Kansas City is hotter than 2 rats effing in a wool sock. Never heard that before. Never heard it again from anybody other than Ichiro. But that was just a hilarious expression.
Do we have any listeners in Kansas City? Can you tell us if that's something you guys say? We're very confused.
I don't know. When we went to that baseball game in August in Kansas City, it was
about as hot as 2 rats.
Yes, there was a wool sock. There was rodents.
Yeah, that's for sure.
There was fornication.
All right, Nels, bring us home.
Yep. So right field is a pretty loaded position when we looked at it. Some guys that didn't make the cuts. Tony Gwynn, Reggie Jackson, Roberto Clemente.
We could have gone for hours.
Dave Winfield.
We're going to do a Tony Gwynn episode in the offseason, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Why not? Absolutely. But the guy that I chose, just a hair above all those others, Rookie of the Year, 2-time MVP, a Triple Crown, World Series MVP, 14-time All-Star, All-Star MVP, and Manager of the Year. One Frank, no nickname needed, no middle name needed, Robinson.
First African-American manager in baseball.
Correct.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Another barrier breaker.
Yes. If you ever want to hear some good stories about him as a manager, watch a Giants game because their two broadcasters, Kruko and Kipe, both played together with Robinson as the manager for the Giants. You'll hear some fun stories about what kind of manager Frank Robinson was. A no-nonsense dude. Absolutely. First guy ever to win the MVP in both leagues. Mm-hmm. And this was back when both leagues were completely separate.
Yeah.
There was no interleague play, nothing. So he won the NL MVP, then he moved over to Baltimore and had to learn a whole new league with a whole new set of pitchers. I'll just win the MVP over here as well. The 14-time All-Star, 8 were in the NL, 6 in the AL. He had, let me pull it up here. No.
Silence filler.
Yes, it is. 586 home runs. There we go. I found it. 2,943 hits, just shy of that really cool 3,000 number. 294 hitters, so sorry, Ben. He's not in the Hall of Fame because of that.
Sorry, Frank.
Yeah, all that other stuff doesn't matter. I think he kind of maybe gets lost a little bit into history because I don't know why. The dude was just an absolute monster while he played, and he had a successful managerial career after. So
Very.
And being the first player to ever win the MVP in both leagues, winning a Triple Crown, like he's got those accolades that are like one of one.
Yes. You'd be hard pressed to find a reason not to put him on this list, as far as I'm concerned. So
Do you think Brooks Robinson has anything to do with Frank Robinson not being more well known?
People confusing the two of them.
People confusing the two of them.
Both played for Baltimore.
Both played for Baltimore. Both were fantastic players.
Interesting question. People in Baltimore don't.
No. But I'm just saying, do people not bring up Frank Robinson because they're like, is this Frank Robinson or is this Brooks Robinson? Which one am I trying to remember here?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Which is funny because the only thing they have in common is last names.
Yeah.
And playing for Baltimore.
Sure.
Yeah. I think the Baltimore thing probably would trip people up more than anything.
Yeah.
If you're
Brooks was a noted white guy that played third base, though. So
Frank Robinson, not noted white guy.
The first African American manager in MLB history, and then noted white guy, Brooks Robinson.
I
Noted
feel
white
that
guy.
because Frank Robinson is the only player to ever win an MVP. Well, I guess I take that back. Now he's one of 2 players
Correct.
to ever win the
Yep.
MVP in both leagues. The trophy should be named after Frank Robinson.
I agree.
Do we know who it's named after now? Didn't they name it after somebody?
I don't believe that it has a name. I believe it's just the MVP.
Because I know,
It's just the
I know
MVP
the
trophy.
All-Star Game MVP is like the Willie Mays Award.
Yeah, right. And
Mark,
then
it's named after Mark Grace.
I feel like each one, like the NL is named after somebody in the AL.
okay.
We'll get back to everything.
Hey, you know what? Babe Ruth, and this is kind of weird. He only won 1 MVP.
Yeah.
Which is just, it's an odd thing to think about when it's not like the All-Star game. There was not an All-Star game until very late in Babe Ruth's career. But the fact that he only won 1 MVP is very curious to me.
I have an answer for you.
Yeah.
You used to not be able to win the MVP again.
They always had to go with a new one?
Yeah, in
Okay.
those times, you were not allowed to win. I don't remember what year they stopped doing that and allowed
Gotcha.
multiple, but once you won one, you'll see a lot of seasons in there with some of those great guys, and you're like, how did they not win the MVP? They clearly were the best player that year because they had already previously won one, and they didn't allow you to win MVP again.
Makes sense.
For a little while there.
Dang, millennials, everyone's got to get a trophy.
Does MLB just have the stupidest rule ever at some point in their history, and it takes them forever to finally get rid of it?
Yes. Is it time for another Tyler's Betorama?
Yeah, I've got none of them really have worked in.
Thank you, Nels.
Yes.
Speaking of, this is loosely associated with Ichiro.
If it's my stat, I'm going to be so mad at you.
It is. I don't know whether it's your stat or
I don't-
not.
I don't-
You
we'll
didn't
find
share
out.
anything.
We'll find out.
Anyhow, notably, like Ichiro, career 300 hitter, and Ben who loves himself some 300 hitters.
Absolutely.
Sadly, the 300 hitter is something that is slowly declining year over year in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, we talked about Aaron Judge leading the league with 326, which used to be kind of like a very good batting
Yes.
average, but the leader would be in like the 350s.
Yeah,
He
used
did
to-
hit 400 this year at some point.
It used to be that there were around about like 20 or 30 guys per season that would hit 300. Last year, there were only 7. This year, currently, there are only 7. Now, on the bubble, Freddie Freeman is hitting 302. Maikel Garcia is hitting 300. Trey Turner is hitting 300. Sal Frelick is hitting 298. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is hitting 298. At the end of the season, will we have more or less than 7 players hitting 300 or better?
More.
Less.
I'll take the under.
Yes.
We are at exactly 7 now.
I
take
believe
the under.
I believe in Sal Frelick and Vladdy Jr.
All right. And you believe in Trey Turner and Maikel Garcia continuing on at their pace.
Trey Turner he's an on base guy. He's not so much an average guy. So I'm gonna live with him under 300.
Okay, then that would put us at 8. If you remove Trey Turner and you add in Frelick and Guerrero, then we're at 8.
I'm going the over.
Okay.
I'm going over at 8.
All right.
Are we gonna check these bets at the end of the year?
Probably not.
Let us know how we did.
They're all for good fun.
Somebody out there listening, take notes and hold us accountable. And
These bets are for entertainment purposes only. Do not bet your mortgage.
yes.
So, yeah. I personally think that we are going to see over 300, or over 7 players hitting 300 this year. And I don't know what I'm finding that in, why I have hope and faith in that occurring, but I just do.
It's more of a feeling than anything.
It's all feelings, man.
Yeah,
It's all
it's on vibes, bro.
I wonder if how much bringing up all the teams that are out of it now and they're bringing up young pitching to try them out, how much that affects
Oh, yeah.
the batting average. Like, does it go up collectively in like September
Yeah.
when you're facing that lesser pitching?
Can everyone get a little bit fatter off of some, green pitching?
Right.
Yeah.
Or does it go down because, it's grinding out the last part of the
Right.
season
Could
and you're
be.
just kind
Yeah.
of like
You got all those aches and creaks going on.
right.
Well, now we're into the point of the show that I am most excited about, and this is listener questions.
Excellent.
So Josh and I spent the weekend in Baltimore, which we're going to talk about here after listener questions, but we got a listener question from Jake from Detroit. Shout out, Jake. Long time listener, first time caller. He'll hang up and wait for his answer. Jake asked us to do a review of statistics, but specifically what they mean, which are important, and which should we not pay attention to. And so the interesting discussion point is going to be where we all land on what those are. So I thought to begin with, let's start with what do the most common statistics mean? What are they short for? What are they taking into account? And then we'll move into an opinion segment, which is which are important and which should we not pay attention to.
And that, Tyler, is what I told you before the show, is likely where you're going to disagree more than the rest of the
Very
show on
possibly.
a lot of stuff. You like
Absolutely.
a lot of
Okay.
nitty gritty numbers.
So here, I'm going to start just with the basic.
Go for
Yep.
it.
Every time a batter comes up to the plate, that is called a plate appearance. What a batter does at that plate appearance will determine whether it is an at-bat or not. Things that are not at-bats are walks, sacrifice hits, hit by pitch, fielder's choice. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm
Balk?
forgetting. A balk doesn't.
Well, it's not a
doesn't
plate.
count as a plate
Yeah,
appearance.
it's not a batter statistic.
So you remove
stay in
all
your
of those
at-bat.
events and you come up with at bats. So the amount of times that you get a hit per at bat, that is your batting average. The amount of times you get on base for every plate appearance is your on base percentage. The amount of bases that you get per plate appearance is your slugging percentage.
So for those who may
So-
not know what that means, a home run is worth 4 bases because you
Yes.
get all 4 bases in your at bat. A triple is 3, a double is 2, and a single is 1. So they call it slugging because it puts more emphasis on the power, the big slugs, than just your normal one base singles.
A quick correction: slugging percentage does at bats, not
Okay,
percentage.
slugging bases per at bat, not per plate.
And that was Nels's bet-orama.
Thank you. The
OBP.
I would say that the
Did you get to OBP?
I did. Okay. Yeah, that is the amount of times you reach base per plate appearance.
Yeah.
So
that factors in all of your walks.
So I would say the benchmarks for being a productive player at each of those would be a 300 hitter, 400 on base, and 500 slug.
Okay.
So that would mean that you're getting a hit 30% of the time, you are reaching base 40% of the time, and when you come to the plate, you have about a 50-50 chance of getting one base.
I just want to say that would be a high level season, not just a productive season.
It's weird. Everyone gives me a lot of crap for 300 hitters being Hall of Fame, but I think we just sold that one.
I would say like individual benchmarks for the stats. If you achieve any one of those benchmarks, you are a good player. So a good example would be Luis Ariz, who is a 300 hitter, but offers very little in any of the other categories. Because he can put his bat on the ball in any moment. He doesn't particularly get on base at a 400 clip, and
he has no power.
He has no power. So he's probably, his stat line is going to look like a 300 average, a 323 on base, and a 410 slug, something like that.
So that's the traditional batting statistics for hitters. What are the advanced analytics that really are kind of commonplace now that maybe the traditional or the more casual baseball viewer doesn't know what they mean?
Sure. So there are a lot of adjusted stats, and oftentimes that these are what you will see as plus stats. So one that I oftentimes look at is OPS plus. What the plus means is two things. Number one, 100 is the baseline. So anything above 100 is better than average. Anything below 100 is less than average. Makes it really easy to understand. The second part of that is it's adjusted. So when you're looking in the steroids era and you're hitting 330 with a 430 on base and a 500 slug, that might only be a 100 or 102 OPS plus because everybody was hitting the ball all over the place.
Sure.
When you look down into the dead ball era, if you had, a 275 average with 300 on base and a 400 slug, that might be a 120 OPS plus because you're 20% better than the average.
So it measures how good of a hitter you are compared to the rest of the league
Compared to
that
the rest
season.
of the league.
Which is what I was just about, to say. The big thing on that is that it is a comparative stat. Where
Yes.
like batting average, on base percentage, slugging, OPS, those are counting stats.
Yeah.
Those are the same no matter what. You do this, you get this number.
Yep.
Where OPS plus and those other kind of stats like that are comparative stats. It takes what you're doing and compares you to the rest of the league.
Yeah. So what about WAR?
WAR.
Let's talk
What is
about
it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
And I agree.
So WAR is a stat that tries to assign the currency of baseball is runs, and depending on the offensive environment, each amount of your offense and your defense either takes away or adds runs. Depending on the offensive and defensive environment in the league, that will determine how many runs is equal to one win. In the steroid era, it may have taken 5 or 6 runs to get to one win. In the dead ball era, it may have taken 1.5 runs to get to one win. So wins above average or wins above replacement player is the idea that how many wins do you add to your team and contribute above what a replacement player is. A replacement player is best defined as someone that you can pick up as a street free agent, call up from AAA.
Us.
We'd be far below replacement level. So it's not necessarily
Speak
the
for
worst
yourself.
player in the league. It's not necessarily someone who is barely competent within the league of playing baseball. It's someone who is available to you to add to your team at any point. I think the thought is that a team made up exclusively of replacement level baseball players is supposed to win around 45 games.
Okay.
So the Colorado Rockies.
The Colorado Rockies are all replacement level players.
So
The biggest issue I have with WAR, though, is
well,
that
before we get to that, real quick. Sorry.
Okay.
We'll talk about.
Well,
we haven't talked about.
Well, I was going to say there is no true definition of WAR. WAR is not a universal stat. Where batting average is the same no matter what.
Wait, hang on. I need to add something to WAR before we start talking. I need to add something to the definition, because WAR is also position specific. So I'm not just comparing a left fielder against a pitcher or a third baseman against a first baseman.
Right.
Your replacement level is the replacement level at that position.
Okay.
So you're graded on a curve. The catcher, the shortstop, the center fielder, those are typically positions where defense is more important. Offense, therefore, is probably a little less emphasized. Those players don't hit that much, which is why someone like Cal Raleigh, who can show up, play a premium defensive position while still producing exceptional offense, is worth just as much as someone like Aaron Judge, who is hitting better than him, but plays a position that is less defensively taxing.
So before we get into the stats that we should not pay attention to, which is I know where you were going, Josh, and I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sort of, but not specifically.
But I wasn't trying to cut you off. I just want to keep it within the context. So what are the other advanced analytics stats as an individual baseball watcher? Let's call them the casual fan. What are the other stats that they should pay attention to, and what do those mean? And we don't have to dive into like super detail, but like what are the other ones that they're going to come across that they're going to be like, hey, what does that mean?
Sure.
BABIP.
Yeah, I guess that would...
which stands for batting average on balls in play. So it basically takes away your walks and your strikeouts, and it's how many hits do you have in how many at-bats that you actually do something with, that you swing the bat and the ball goes in play somewhere.
But a strikeout is not a ball in play.
Exactly, so it takes it out. So
Yeah.
walks and strikeouts, you at
So
bat.
it
takes out home runs too, yes?
Subtracting
Yes,
those.
because that is a ball in play.
It's subtracting those on-base percentage statistics when you didn't actually.
It's what happens when
generate
your
a hit.
bat hits the ball, and that's what ends the at bat.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's one thing where you can sort of see relative to someone's true batting average versus their batting average balls in play.
Yeah, it's like when they do hit the ball,
What do they
they
do?
get on base. Yeah. The issue is they strike out 130 times.
Do you want to break down how to talk to one's grandpa about advanced analytics?
Yeah, don't.
Because that was a really funny thing you sent us in the group.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't send that. Someone else sent that.
I sent that.
Oh, you
Yeah.
sent that? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I assumed it was Tyler because it was statistics. Okay, so let's talk about what are the stats you shouldn't pay attention to. And I know everyone here has their own opinion, so this is just an opinion question. And Jake from Detroit, longtime listener, first-time caller, this is for you. I ignore WAR. I personally ignore it. I think it's a dumb stat. It doesn't make any sense. And Josh brought up a great point. It's not measured consistently, so I'm interested to never see it again.
Well, I want to just touch on that WAR thing that I started on. Is like batting average is batting average no matter where you look. BABIP is going to be BABIP no matter what you look, what like place you look. There's a defined this is what the statistic is. WAR does not have a defined formula for it. If you look at, there's two main statistical baseball websites out there. There's Baseball Reference and there's Fangraphs. Both have their own advantages and disadvantages to them. I particularly love Baseball Reference. I know a lot of the advanced analytics nerds out there love Fangraphs a little more because they do a bit better job diving into those. But they have very different formulas for WAR. You could see one player have like a 5.2 B WAR, which is Baseball Reference, and they have like a 6.5 F WAR, which is Fangraphs WAR. And there's really no explanation to why there's a big differential between the two. So to me, I'm like, like people who use WAR don't even know really what WAR is.
And so the big difference between Baseball Reference and Fangraphs and the way that they calculate their WAR is how they treat defense and what defensive metrics go into the calculation and how they try to account for that. That's the major problem that I've got with WAR, especially when you're looking at historical players, because you know so little about defensive performance from a box score.
Yes.
A play-by-play, all we've got to go on is pen and paper to determine what happened on the baseball field. So depending on where a player was positioned when the ball was hit, whether they were shifted or not, whether they, are able to get a good jump and read on the ball, whether they're able to put a ball onto the glove or not onto the glove is going to determine whether they get an error or not. So, for example, a very fast player who is poorly positioned but is able to get to a place where the ball is, put their glove on the ball, not catch it, but knock it down, could be charged with an error and viewed more favorably in that defensive event compared to a defensive player who was in the same position a little bit slower and it just dropped for a hit.
Just really quickly, defensive event, great band name.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I honestly don't take any value in just about any defensive metric. It's all trying to put numbers to something that you really have to see with your eyes. When you look at defensive metrics, there's so many guys that I have seen that I look at and I go, man, I enjoy having them in the field. They play, when they get to the ball, man, they make every single play. But then you look at their defensive metrics and they're like a below average defender. And I go, that is not what I see. I want that guy in the field at that position.
What real-time example do we have of that
Riley
between
Green.
the two of you?
Riley Green.
So I think that this is like a good example of like a good defender versus a poor defender, which is within my Minnesota Twins, when Byron Buxton is in center field, he will make almost every single play look effortless. Everyone else who plays center field looks like they are trying their hardest. So Byron Buxton is getting to balls that others would not, but it doesn't look like he's breaking a sweat in doing so.
But you also can't measure that.
Well, they're actually getting much better
with the StatCast stuff and all of that.
Okay,
but I think it's overly
it's an assumptive
relied on now, where they're like, look at
just
feet per second covered.
This is actually
it's an assumptive stat.
No, actually where we're at now, currently, it's actually getting much better because they've got location on all of the players when the ball contacts the bat.
Yeah.
And they can say, okay, you were here, the ball was 20 feet away from you or 40 feet away from you, you did get it, you didn't get it, and then take into account the distance that you had to travel to be able to make the play, the speed that you were going, how good your break was on the ball. A good example for good defense, but not spectacular, is Mike Trout. Mike Trout is not a fast baseball player.
No.
But what he is excellent at is being efficient with his steps and reacting quickly to where the ball is going to go.
You're bringing up the point I was going to make. So when you watch baseball games now, you see outfielders checking cards in their back pocket all the time for defensive alignment.
Right.
And what are they most likely to do? Where are they most likely to put it?
Yes.
And giving them the shift that they should put onto that batter. So assumedly, a shorter center fielder than Byron Buxton, who's slower, who takes more steps to get as far as Byron Buxton, would play a different position. So is the analytic of the likelihood the more important statistic than true athleticism?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the question is, did you make the play or did you not make the play?
Let's assume they both made it.
Then they both made the play, and
so then
these metrics say that Buxton's the better defender because he made it easier, but they both made the play.
Well, I think that the thing is Buxton made it easier, which means that he is going to get to a ball that the slower fielder would not be able to get to.
But in my scenario, you're shifting your slower, shorter-legged center fielder to a position that's more likely to get to a ball that Byron Buxton would get to further away from the ball.
Right.
It gives him more range
Yeah.
to play more available outcomes.
Right.
But when you're playing your odds, you will play them so that you have the best odds based on who's batting. But it does
think
give
so.
Buxton the better ability to adjust to something that has lower odds of happening and making the play.
Nels, thoughts?
I like BABIP.
So
There's no thoughts behind these eyes.
if the slow player has to go 30 feet in order to make the play,
Sure.
and the fast player has to go 40 feet to make the play, the fast player who went 40 feet to make the play would be graded potentially better, because you still have to factor in, it's not just how far you traveled, but it's also how quick your break was,
And your
how,
route.
how efficient your route was. So you can be fast and just sort of like spin in a circle before you get to the ball.
And I don't know that I agree with that.
All right.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Why-
It's just
but
an
that's
opinion.
all why defensive metrics
Yeah.
are so hard to rely solely upon. And that's one thing that so my biggest like rap on this, because we're probably time wise got to take a
Oh,
look.
no, we're doing okay.
But my biggest rap on all of the advanced analytics and stuff is that my issue with them is that we've gotten too reliant on just looking at what the stats say.
Yeah.
The beauty of baseball is the numbers plus watch the damn game.
Yes.
The numbers help you predict. The numbers aren't the end all be all. You need
WTDG.
you need to supplement the numbers with what actually happens on the field and what you're watching. And you can't make all judgments based purely on what the numbers say. If you want to make arguments, and you watch the damn games too.
WTDG.
And then
And so the primary problem with WAR, I think, is that you're always making assumptions based on whatever replacement level player is.
Sure.
And you're making an assumption based on what the positional value is. And so you're starting from those. So like here's a good example. So we're talking about Cal Raleigh, we're talking about Aaron Judge for AL MVP. Right now on Baseball Reference, Cal Raleigh, they're providing 5.7 wins above replacement, and Aaron Judge 6.8. On Fangraphs, they've got Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh both at 7.3. So it's a huge difference on Baseball Reference.
Splitting the difference.
And neck, tied on Fangraphs. So different ways of taking into the question of value.
Yeah. It makes sense, and the way I appreciate you breaking down all of the stats, because quite honestly, I'm too stupid to have done that. So I appreciate you doing that, and I want to dive deeper into stats. Maybe that's a
off-season
topic. Really appreciate I swear I had a stroke today. Appreciate the question, Jake from Detroit, longtime listener, first time caller.
Well, let's just go around and what's everyone's favorite stat to look at?
Batting
And
average.
What's everyone's least favorite, or the one that they most discount?
WAR.
Okay.
I do slugging.
You like slugging?
Yeah.
I like OPS because, like Billy Bean, I like when my guys get on base, but also they need to do more than just get on base. They need to get on base and get multiple bases.
That's also because your best friend is Jonah Hill.
Yeah. I also dislike WAR though because it's inconsistent and I don't know which one to actually take more stock in. So I just discount it all together because I don't know which one is actually a better measure.
Right.
My favorite is on base. Because I think there's a certain amount of that just being a reflection of where the game has gone. So I was talking about how we've got fewer 300 hitters than ever before. Well, the percentage of people getting on base is about the same, if not increasing. So the event that causes you to get in base is changing, and by all means, far less exciting than a hit. A walk is boring. A hit is awesome.
I don't know. Players are bat flipping walks now, so it's getting more exciting.
Didn't the Tigers just went on a walk-off walk
Walk
the other
off
day?
walk, baby.
There's nothing sadder about that. And then the things that I don't like are any stats that are, and this just kind of goes to a philosophy, are more situation based. So RBI would be the most common situation-based stat.
Sure.
So the only way that you can get on an RBI is if there are people on base in front of you.
That's not true.
Unless you put a ball into the
That's
seats.
true. You
solo
can't,
homer.
You can't hit a solo homer and get yourself.
But
an
that
RBI.
increments your RBI very slowly.
Right. And so the amount of
Whenever
times
at bat.
So when you're looking at RBI, and if you're looking at something like, you might look at someone like Jose Ramirez and look at his career RBI totals and not be too impressed. But he had a whole career with the Guardians that were a offensively impotent team, so he didn't have the amount of opportunities that someone else did.
Sure.
Really quickly to wrap up the statistic talk, 2 points I want to make. Never, ever, ever say RBIs. First of all, never say RBIs. That's dumb.
It's ribbies.
It would be runs batted ins. That's dumb.
I do like ribbies because you could say it's RIBBYS.
If you want to be really cool, call them steaks.
Sticks.
Yeah, and then home runs are taters, and then you get real hungry.
Yep.
And then the last thing I'll add, this isn't statistic based, but I just want to point it out. Don't say MLB baseball. It's Major League Baseball or MLB, because it would be Major League Baseball baseball. Don't say that.
So the way that you get to steaks from ribby, or from RBI,
I thought I'd have more consensus on this discussion. But sure.
RBI to ribby to ribeye to steak.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Steaks. Get some
Meatloaf.
steaks.
So,
Bat out of hell.
Jake from Detroit, appreciate the question. Hopefully this helped clarify some things. Hope you enjoyed it. And we're going to take a quick break.
Thanks, Jake. Love you, Jake.
We'll be back with a ballpark review, the first one on the show. And then we'll do some ballpark brews and trivia to end things out. So see you guys here in just a second. All right, and we're back for our first ever ballpark review for the in season. We talked a little bit about the stadiums we've been to before, but let's talk a little bit about one that we experienced, well, half of the show experienced this weekend. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Josh and let you talk about Oriole Park at Camden Yards.
Yeah, so Oriole Park at Camden Yards has long been at the very top of my list of ballparks that I really wanted to go see in person. It's one of those parks, every time I watch on TV, it just looks absolutely beautiful. It lived up to that expectation for sure. Gorgeous ballpark. Concourses were pretty fantastic. They've got this great thing called the Birdland Value Menu, where they have some vendor spots that everything is $5 and under. Including some beers.
$5 beer, $4 hot dogs.
Yeah, and
nice.
the $4 hot dogs ended up costing the group of us. We had 7 of us there. I think the $4 dogs ended up being like $200 worth of dogs by the amount of people, the amount that people ate. Shout out, Steven, for your 9 dogs. But on top of all of that, one thing that I really love about Camden Yards is that it has something that's very unique and special to that ballpark itself. It has what is called Eutaw Street, spelled E-U-T-A-W, not like the state, which is a street right behind the right field seats. Now, this street is not currently traveled by cars or vehicles or horses or anything. It is part of the stadium itself. It is inside the gates. And behind that is a big warehouse that you can see on TV when you're looking over the right field wall. You can see that there's this big warehouse looking building. So that building houses the team store as well as a bar and restaurant in there. But the cool thing about the street itself is that it's kind of reminiscent of San Francisco's ballpark, where they have the splash hits that go over into McCovey Cove. Baltimore, they have the same thing with the balls that clear the fence over the seats onto Eutaw Street. And every player that hits a home run onto Eutaw Street gets a plaque on the street that is a little baseball and it says their team, their name, their team, and the distance of their home run. And that plaque goes in the spot that the ball lands on the street. And so the street, I don't want to say is littered with, because there's not that many of them on there, but all through the street, you'll see these little golden, bronze, whatever it is, little plaque type things.
Is this
on
if
the
any
street.
player hits it or
Yes.
just Orioles?
No, any player. In fact, I have several that I took pictures of for some Tigers that hit them, as well as some Tampa players that I took. And I just think that that's something that's really cool. It's very unique to Baltimore only. And to just be walking through the stadium and seeing the plaque, this is where each of these guys hit the home runs. I think, in my opinion, that's just one of the coolest things. Who was it, Ben? I completely forgot. Was it Ken Griffey Jr. that is the one and only player to hit the warehouse itself?
Yeah, the warehouse
over the street.
The warehouse wall across the street is the only recorded, with that particular denotation, the only recorded home run that's hit that wall.
Yeah, so Ken Griffey Jr. has the only one that has cleared the street completely, and they have a plaque on the side of the building. Aside from that, like I said, beautiful ballpark. They have another fun little quirk. It's called the Bird Bath. They had Frank the Tank from Barstool throw out the first pitch, and he went over into the Bird Bath, and that's in left center field, and they just have a hose, and they have somebody spraying fans with the hose. I never really caught on exactly to what, they spray the hose for, because they sprayed it all the time during different events. I don't know what triggers get sprayed by the Bird Bath.
But it has to land in that specific 30 by 10 space.
And they just got this big old hose that's spraying everybody. But yeah, overall, Camden has long been at the top of my list of ballparks I wanted to go to. It really, truly did live up with the history, the cool quirks, and just a beautiful ballpark overall. So shout out Baltimore. Baltimore was a great host overall for the weekend, but the ballpark, it lived up to my expectations.
Where do you rank it amongst the stadiums you've been to?
Oh, so my biased opinion will always have Comerica number one, because I just but everybody's ranking is their own style, and it has so much
Mine's not
sentimental. No, you have your own reasons for your rankings.
Oh, I thought you were going to say your own stadium.
No,
for your
but
team.
but I have the sentimental reasons of I have seen so much of the games that have carved my love for baseball at Comerica Park. I also think it's an objectively beautiful park. The city skyline, the park being under street level, so you can really truly see the city beyond it, I think is really cool. I might put Camden number 2.
I was gonna say mine's I'll put it in top 3.
It's either number 2 or 3, because Fenway was also really cool and historic.
There.
I didn't see a game there. I did a tour there. The Green Monster is actually really cool.
Shout out Fenway, sponsor the podcast.
Yeah. And then I really like Seattle's ballpark. I think that's another beautifully done ballpark.
Been past it, haven't been in it.
I mean, the Twins ballpark is beautiful. Target Field is beautiful. It's really hard for me. I haven't been to any.
It's hard
except for the Trop. I haven't really been to any bad stadiums, and even the Trop isn't as bad as people.
It's hard
think.
to knock Wrigley out of the top 3.
I haven't been.
I know you.
I haven't been yet,
for,
so that's
me,
why.
That's
that's why I
hard to
can't
knock
rank
them
that.
out.
But then at the same time, I love Kauffman Stadium too.
It was a great ballpark.
I loved when we went down there. I thought it was a great ballpark. I love the big Royals logo for the scoreboard and the fountains and everything. I just think that's one of the beauties of baseball, is that all ballparks are great.
Well,
all ballparks are great.
Yeah,
I agree.
If baseball is played there, I find a reason to absolutely love it. I don't find reasons to hate any park. I find reasons to love every park.
But for real, the ownership of Camden is the state of Maryland. So shout out to you, state of Maryland, for making beer $5 and hot dogs $4. Because boy, did we put a dent in that.
Does it make me a communist to say more state-run ballparks, please, then? Because I am sick of $30 beer and food.
I'm not going to lie. I
purchases.
thought you were going to say, does it make me a communist that I don't eat eat hot dogs.
Oh no,
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
no! I want more. If the state-run ballpark gives you good value menus, then more state-run ballparks, please.
Dude, you could go to the value spot, get a beer, a hot dog, popcorn, and peanuts for under $20.
Yeah,
That's sweet.
So go to Camden, everybody. If you get a chance. I know everyone doesn't have that chance, but if you get a chance, please do it.
and we also got very lucky. We saw a game that featured 4 home runs and 8 total runs scored in the first inning alone.
9-8 ball game.
Yeah,
Went down to the bottom of the ninth.
So it was fun.
Very, very cool time.
All right, so that's my Camden review.
All right, kids, let's move on to Ballpark Brews. So what we have today is Cleveland's very own Dortmunder Gold Lager from Great Lakes Brewing Company. Anybody had who opened theirs already?
I was prepping it and I went a little far. That's my bad.
Anybody had Great Lakes before?
I've had Great Lakes beers. I have not had the gold lager, but I have had gold schlager, so I feel like it's pretty close.
That's very different.
I've had the Edmund Fitzgerald.
That's a great one. Nels?
No.
Okay. Cheers, boys.
The 2 Midwesterners have had.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clinkies.
Clinkies.
Clinkety clink.
I'll start because I'm from Ohio, but not Cleveland. I guess that's how we'll do this. I have had Dortmunder for years. I love Dortmunder. I love Great Lakes Brewery as a whole. You brought up, what'd you say, Edmund Fitzgerald?
Edmund Fitzgerald, yeah.
That's a great one. I love the Elliot Ness. I love the Irish one they put out the Elliot Conway. That's great too. They put out some really, really solid beers. It's a great brewery. I know I said if you're ever in Baltimore, go to Camden. If you're ever in Cleveland, go to Great Lakes, but also go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and travel down south to Canton and go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. A lot of good stuff there. I love Dortmunder. It's not my favorite beer in the world, but it is a solid one. So I'm going to call it a double off the top of the wall that scores 2.
It is just a tad too hoppy for my taste. It's not bad. It's not a bad beer, and I like lagers. So I'll give it a seeing eye BABIP single through the 5.5 hole.
For those that listen to the whole episode, what is BABIP?
You see, this to me, the older I have gotten, the more I have really learned to enjoy a lager. The lighter beers are just more appealing these days to me, but I used to be a very big enjoyer of a heavy hoppy beer. So the hoppiness to it is actually an extra plus. It gives me a little bit of that, plus the nice lightness that I like. I'm going to give this a straight up 2-run home run. I feel like I could sit and I could have 12 of these at the ballpark. They're light, they're drinkable, they're crushable, they taste good.
Challenge accepted.
And that's with the discount that it's Cleveland.
I was going to say, Detroit relatives of Josh, Detroit friends of Josh, just remember this. He just did that for a Cleveland beer. I want you to remember this.
Yeah, which having 12 of these is the only way I could watch a Cleveland game.
Put the mark down. Time code it.
But yeah, I feel like I could sit in. Is it still Progressive? I can't keep up with all the sponsor changes.
It is.
I feel like I could sit at Progressive Field like 2 hours before and until they kick me out and just drink a bunch of these and enjoy being at the ballpark and watching some game.
It's great.
Yeah, for me, this is really good. I'm actually not picking up on any hoppiness. To me, this tastes a little like a more fully flavored version of Grain Belt Premium, which is one of my favorite beers. I can see that. It's a little sweet, which is why it's not an absolute home run for me, because it's at a little too much sweetness. But I still think that if you're at Progressive Field, you hit it like off of that wall that's like right in center field. It bounces around a little bit and you get yourself a triple. Yep. That's what this beer is to me.
I'm with you, man. It's an easy drinking beer. It's not heavy. I'll actually side with Nels. It's a tad hoppy for a lager. Which is why I think you might enjoy some of the other ones that Great Lakes puts out each and every year. They put out great beers, but this one is more hoppy than I think a lager probably should be. And if it were less, I would actually probably call it a triple or maybe even home run. But I don't disagree with you. It's not bad though.
And I love the name Dortmunder. That's the most Ohio name I think you could possibly have.
Dortmunder.
Yeah, we're big Germans in Ohio.
I mean, Columbus very famously has neighborhood German village.
And Schmitz. Shout out the Bahama Mama. If you're ever in Columbus, eat the Bahama Mama at Schmitz. All right, kids, who's ready to move into trivia?
I am.
And close this episode out.
I want to know that I know nothing.
You know nothing ever.
Jon Snow.
All right, so we've got 5 questions as per usual, and they are all right field specific. So,
Willie Mays.
I like the theme there. Right field specific for Camden Yards.
who wants to start around the horn with the opportunity?
Me.
All right, Nels
wants it.
So we'll go left to right. Cool.
Bring the pain.
Question 1.
Rob on band.
Back in 2013, Joey Chestnut set a new world record by eating 69 hot dogs in 10 minutes
Nice.
at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
This came out of right field.
If every one of Ichiro's hits were a hot dog, how many Joey Chestnuts would it take to wolf down all of those meat sandwiches?
That's
This
not
is just a
trivia. This
math-
is an algebra problem.
Math problem.
yeah, exactly. Keep your phones in your pockets.
Career hits?
Career
Is this the 3,089 or is this the 4,300?
4,300.
Okay. That's a very important
4,300
divided by 69.
divided by 69.
Nice.
Oh, man. Well, let's see. It's 10, and then it'd be the, I don't know, the 100.
Carry the 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decimal point.
So we're less
X
than
Niner.
equals niner.
And
You
for the,
calling from a walkie-talkie?
for the record, after he goes, then we go with our.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
73.
Incorrect. Sorry. This is great for a podcast.
Yeah.
Dead air.
Yeah, no, I know.
You gave us
I know.
long division. This is on you.
You'll have your
I'm gonna
chance to
go
get
123 because I'm trying to do mental math and
No.
I just
it.
stopped.
Incorrect. Wrong.
Let's see here.
Put your phone away.
I already answered.
I don't have my phone out. I don't know
Not
what
you,
you're talking
him.
about.
I already answered.
We are going with 78.
Wrong. Also, just over 63 Joey Chestnuts will
Okay.
be required to accomplish the meat sandwich challenge.
Or one Joey Chestnut and you give him more than 10 minutes.
Correct. But that wasn't the question. That was the only one that has math.
Do I
right.
win by being
All
closest,
right.
or is this Price is Right rules where I went over and I'm wrong?
No, you win for being closest.
Hey!
Yay, Nels got it. All right.
Congrats.
So we're starting.
Give me a non-hot dog question.
Sorry.
But more math, please.
So this one, we'll start with Josh. 2 teams made offers to Hank Aaron from the Indianapolis Clowns of the Negro League. One was the Boston Braves. The other one I won't tell you yet. The Braves offered Hank Aaron $50 more a month, making his decision an easy one. He signed with the one that paid him more per month. Had the other team signed him, he would have shared the outfield with another Hall of Famer. Name that team.
The Giants.
Bingo. Who is the Hall of Famer?
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays is correct. That's a great question.
It was a
So
good
wait,
question.
are you telling me that they could have had Willie Mays, Willie McCovey,
Yep.
and Hank Aaron?
Yep. And Hank Aaron is
But they
quoted
cheaped out and gave him $50 a year or a month less.
a month. Yeah.
That hurts.
$50 a month, and they could have had that out.
So there's a really fun interview that Hank Aaron did prior to his passing, obviously, where they talked to him about if they had paid him the $50, and he said, "Just think about it. I would have shared the outfield with Willie Mays." Can you imagine what baseball would have looked like if Hank Aaron was in New York and then San Francisco?
That would have been amazing.
Would have been amazing.
cheap owners strike again.
Yeah. Hey, wake up, Polads. All right. Question 3. We're starting with Tyler. In December 1965, the Cincinnati Reds traded Frank Robinson to the Baltimore Orioles in exchange for an all-star right-handed pitcher. Who was it?
Oh, man. I have no idea whatsoever.
It's not how you want to start.
No, I mean it doesn't bode well. I can tell you that much.
What year was it?
1965.
65.
Okay. It's only, 20 years for you were born? 22?
Something like that.
There was a point in time that I knew the answer to this question, too.
Now is not that point in time.
No.
Oh man, Gaylord Perry.
Incorrect. Nelson?
Rob Dibble.
Also incorrect. Yeshua?
I have no idea.
One more time around the horn or nothing?
No.
No, I don't think.
Milt Pappas.
Milt Pappas. That's
Of
right.
course. Yes.
Quite honestly, that was the one I thought you guys would get the easiest. So sorry. All right.
Well, I will say I don't think I've heard the name Milt Pappas in about 15 years. So that one point that I knew it has not been reinforced in
So
my
the
mind.
first time you heard,
Apologies to the Pappas family.
so the first time you heard of him, he was already dead.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, fair.
I was also young.
Yeah, that happens. All right, Nels, we're starting with you.
Excellent.
He was born in Detroit.
Oh, jeez. Due to his unruly behavior, Babe Ruth was sent to reform school at St. Mary's. While there, what trade did he learn?
Carpentry.
Incorrect.
Shoe shining.
Also incorrect.
Why do I want to say weaving?
You're the closest one of the three.
Knitting.
Not that much closer, but kind of. Want to try again, Nelson?
Canvas making.
Tailoring.
I actually would say you're the closest with that. Shirt making.
Shirt making.
Shirt making. And he actually became quite proficient. All right, so you guys have not done spectacular on this one.
Hey.
We've gotten everything wrong.
No. He got New York Giants.
I aced my Giants and Willie Mays.
We're starting with you on the last one. So you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You can't see it in the window.
Well,
can you?
no, it's Nels next, then me.
No, he just
I
started.
just went.
Oh, okay.
That's
This
you.
is okay.
What right fielder whose birth name was Alphonse has competed in the World Foosball Championship?
World Foosball
World
Championship.
Foosball
I
Championship.
don't know that that's as much of a clue as you might think.
No, I'm just curious. Who is is it Mookie Betts?
Incorrect.
I
He's-
didn't
he's
remember
a
what his
bowler.
birth name. What's his
Marcus.
birthday? Marcus.
Marcus Lynn Betts.
Yeah, Mookie just-
MLB.
Yeah, he just does everything. So that was my closest guess is who does everything.
Alphonse is not a clue.
Alphonse.
All right, Tyler. Who you got?
I have no earthly idea.
Give me a guess.
Mel Ott.
That's a good guess, but you're wrong.
Tony Gwynn.
Also a good guess, but incorrect. One Alphonse Dante Bichette.
Okay.
You know what's funny? I was actually thinking that, but I like Dante
Sorry, you got
Bichette, but I had,
you got the question wrong.
No, but I had no idea that his name was Alphonse, so I'm like that threw me out completely.
I didn't either. He also competed in ping pong championships.
Wow.
He's just a frat boy all around, wasn't he?
He's white, so
Okay.
sorry, Alphonse.
Is he fully?
Fully white?
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that question.
No, like I don't. Isn't he
Is anybody?
like? I thought he was like half black.
Nobody is.
Yeah.
Well, I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Well,
Sorry
listen,
to
we're
all
gonna-
the Aryans listening. You are not 100% white.
We're gonna end the episode on that multicultural question that may or may not get us canceled. Any last thoughts, Tyler?
Roberto Clemente, briefly mentioned amongst the right fielders, may have been one of the best people to ever play baseball.
Like human beings.
Human beings
Yes.
to ever play baseball.
Died flying to give humanitarian aid.
Died
right?
flying to give humanitarian aid. Like the things that were important to him were not necessarily the statistics and the accolades, though he did get a lot of those. And it's not that he didn't seek those out and he didn't want to be successful as a baseball player, but what was most important to him was helping people out and spreading the game of baseball all across all of Central and South America. And I think that we owe a huge debt of gratitude for all the fabulous Central, Dominican, South American players that we've got in the game today, because I think that he really, started some of those embers burning and really helped out the sport. Sorry to have him crack the top 4, but as we said, it's a real tough category.
It really is. All right, Josh, last thoughts.
I'm glad that the Tigers are playing good again. Roberto Clemente, absolute amazing player, absolute amazing person. Yeah, that's all I got. Camden Yards, thank you much.
Nelson.
Willie Adames made his return to Milwaukee and homered twice in his first game, including the first pitch that he saw.
It would be
Former Tiger.
It would be hating on your team, wouldn't it?
Oh, and he had some nice Bob Uecker shoes on.
No, for his team.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. Moved over. Sorry.
Yes.
I just assume that it's bad about your team.
Final thoughts.
They did lose
Ben
that game.
can't speak.
Yeah.
So let's wrap it
So
up.
really, I think that Milwaukee got everything that they wanted, which was Willie Adames to come back, do well, and still walk away with the win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hooray, Milwaukee.
Final thoughts for me. Ronald Acuna Jr., you're number 5 in all-time right fielders. I don't care what anyone says. In front of Roberto Clemente. No, just kidding. That's a joke. Really enjoyed the last 2 weeks of baseball. Camden Yards, fantastic, phenomenal. Really enjoyed our time there. I'm looking forward to what happens down the stretch. The Mets are up 5-3, and that makes me sad. I don't have much else to say.
Then wrap it.
Cal Raleigh should win the MVP. Writers are stupid. Play the game, love the game. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Go Royals.